Hello everyone, welcome to another Digimon deck profile video. I know I've been a little slow on this update. I've had some personal stuff go on, but things have cleared up. Thankfully, my dad fell a little ill, so he's back home, thank God. And I'm able to kind of put some focus back into this. So today I'm going to show you an X Antibody deck. This is one of my more fun decks that I enjoy to play. It can hit pretty hard and do some damage. The deck is a little stagnant given how fast hybrids are right now, but you can knock your opponent's security down from 5 to 0, 5 to 1, depending on what you get. And it's just fun. It's a really pressing deck, and it kind of plays a little like an old school Digimon deck since it's more about building up a bunch of inherited skills. So this deck definitely gets stronger in BT 8 and 9. But for now, this is what we have, and I'm going to get right to it. First and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out, to Sally Blue for helping me realize the mat design I wanted, because I pitched an idea to them and they completely delivered on what I wanted and then some. So when they have a page set up and stuff, I'll link it in the next video and probably every video going forward, because this mat is awesome. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. So I'm gonna give you my deck list. It's not perfect, nor is it probably ideal. However, this is what I like playing. Some substitutes you can use, and let's just dive on into it. So first and foremost, of course, you're playing for Dorumon. No, Dorumon, excuse me. This is your searcher. When you play him, reel the top 3 cards of your deck. Look for 1 X Antibody and 1 Coda, the tamer. Right now, he tends to miss more than I'd like to admit, but when we get more support later on, I'm pretty sure that you won't feel so bad at dropping 3 memory just to play him. So I'm playing 3 Tsunorizumon, and this card is just getting reprinted, thankfully. It was like a $30 card before. Right now it's around $22, $25. I have a 4th one in the mail right now, so it's actually gonna switch with the next card I'm gonna show. 1 copy. But yeah, every black deck should probably play these if you can get your hands on them. While he's in play, all your black Digimon with 13,000 power or more gain piercing, so you can start beating up Digimon and do damage still. While he's an inherited Digimon, part of the stack, your Digimon gets +1 security attack if they're 13,000 power or more. So, whether he's underneath the Digimon or just on the field, he just provides so much value already. Definitely worth playing as a 4-of. You can get away with playing 3-of. You can probably get away with not playing him at all, but I would highly suggest, trying to at least get 3. Next, I'm playing 4 Toy Agumon. This is going to be swapped. I'll be playing 4 of these when I get my 4th one. I like this card in this deck because unsuspending your Digimon at the start of your opponent's turn is kind of like a little built-in defense. So you're not always going to have Dorumon in the stack. You're not always going to have Tsunorizumon in the stack. So he's like a really strong third option, because you can swing with one of your Digimon and then they switch to unsuspended, so you can use them for a blocker if they have blocker, or you can just prevent them from being attacked by your opponent that turn. So against Blue Hybrid, he's probably not as strong, but he'll at least protect you for 1 turn. And then to round up my rookies, 2 Chumons. There's a lot of people playing a lot of tamers right now, and being that that's their regular way of gaining extra memory right now, he's probably not as strong. But against decks that really rely on Bokumon to kind of expand on their memory, he chokes that a little bit. Yellow with I forgot the name of there's a yellow card that trashes one of your security to give you 2 memory and stuff. It's really good to kind of choke certain decks. That's why I'm only playing 2 right now. Once the meta changes a little bit, he'll probably go back up to 3. So that rounds out my rookies. So now on to the champions. For Dorumon, again, this is the main aspect of the deck, being that it's X Antibody. When you Digivolve, if you have another Digimon in play with X Antibody, or there's a card that's underneath him, he gains blocker. So he kind of helps stymie the the opponent's early game rush has a respectable 5,000 DP, so your opponent has to respect that anything they swing could probably die without him dying. And his incendiary effect give the Digimon that has X antibody above him 1,000 DP. So, and that's on all turns. So, you know, it's a really, really, really good core piece for the deck. You have to play 4 of it. Next kind of goes without saying, 3 Dark Tyrannomon. Being a level 4 1-cost Digimon with blocker has kind of fallen off now, especially in like yellow, because yellow doesn't even play these anymore. This deck really benefits from this because a lot of the evolution stuff tends to be a little more on the pricey side. You want to slow the mid game down enough to where you're going to be swinging later to like control the board, and he just, you know, protects you for a really, really cheap cost. So I recommend playing 3. You can probably get away with playing 2, but I would, you know, really, really recommend playing a 3. Now I'm actually going to go back to this. Now this card is completely optional and it's purely preference. I'm playing 2 Greymons. So the reason why I'm playing this is that if your Digimon has Reboot, they gain jamming, which stops your opponent from killing you while you attack. So when your big guy later on is like all powered up, you're probably really not going to care too much for this, because most people aren't going to be able to kill him, especially with like the decks nowadays tending to use more tamers or weaker Digimon that wind up in the security pile. But with him, if you just happen to swing into Bonds of Friendship or Bonds of Bravery, your Digimon is safe. So I do play 2 of these. You can easily swap this out for 2 Tankmon, or wrong way, sorry. Or you could play a 3rd copy of Grumblemon. Probably the best bet to do to drop him, to get rid of him. Play 1 Tankmon, play 1 Grumblemon, but this is all preference. Now, if you're not a fan of this, there's a few other options you can play too. That's not just Tankmon. Obviously, Tankmon is a good one. Then there's also Machmon and Mechanorimon. All 3 of these are really good to replace the 1 copy of this if you want to play 3 Grumble. 3 Grumble is probably the way to go with this, because Grumble, being the only black hybrid right now, helps you finish games. So when your big boss, I keep forgetting his name because they're all Doru X, swings, most of the time he'll wipe out the enemy security, and then, you know, you'll hybrid into Grumblemon and he'll swing for games. So the responsible thing would be to probably play like 1 Mechanori or 1 Tankmon and 3 of him. But I do like the Reboot personally. So that's definitely the better option, right? You know, but I do enjoy playing Greymon for the jamming. So these are actually going to be taken out, and it's 3 Warumonzemon. These are coming out for Metal Greymon that are currently on the way to me as well. Hopefully they're here this week, but or before the Ultimate Cup. But yeah, so he costs to evolve 6,000 DP, which is pretty respectable. I was playing Megadramon, but the reason why I took him out is the Megadramon costing 3 when Doru Greymon already cost 3 kind of felt like it was just paying too much into memory. So at least if I evolve this in 2 and I have Coda in play, if I evolve into my level 6, I'm only giving my opponent 2 memory if they don't have their tamer in play that pumps them to 3. So I do play 3 of these. And then 4 Doru Greymons, because it's, you know, his deck. Being a part of the Digivolution pile, he gives security +1. When you Digivolve, you can shove another Digimon underneath him that has X antibody and protects itself from being deleted by having his DP reduced for the turn. So it's pretty good most of the time that you'll have that effect happen. You want the extra stack, but most of the time I tend to have him like in the raising area still, because I play against a lot of Wyvern Breath. And the last thing I want, well, not even just Wyvern Breath, it's mostly red now with that impact card. Like, I'm just tired of seeing him get blown up. But, you know, you could probably play him here safely. You know, he does not die to Wyvern's Breath, but it's still really annoying. So that's all my, I believe those are Mega levels? Ultimate levels, excuse me. Now to my Megas. We are playing 4 Doru Goramons. This card is your boss monster, so during your turn, for each X antibody card in this trait, he gets 1,000 extra DP. So most of the time you're gonna have at least 3, so he's 14 right off the bat. When you attack with him, you can take an X antibody from the hand, put it underneath them, and he gains an additional 1,000 from the X antibody that you put underneath them. And you can delete up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon with play cost less than or equal to this Digimon. So he really hurts your opponent's like lower level stuff. Most of the time when you swing with him the first time, you have 3 or 4 cards. So if your opponent is playing like the hybrid stuff, a lot of them have like a 4 cost or 5 cost play cost, and you'll be able to like just run it over, right? Or just start blowing up rookies and like that. That's a strong skill, but the main thing you want is all the inherited stuff that comes from it, because you can swing, no lie, like with a security attack 4 on this guy because of the stuff that you put underneath him, and you'll just rip your opponent's life away. Well, their security away in this case. Really strong card, but very very prone to being like counterplayed a lot by like blue, especially with the blue hybrid being as strong as it is now. 2 Alphamons. So initially I was playing these at a 3-3 spread, but Dorugoromon is probably just more important. He has a nice security skill of when he's revealed for security, you can target up, so I believe it's like 15 of your opponent's Digimon and they can't attack the rest of the turn. And then when he attacks, you can pay memory up to 5. So you give him 1,000 for each memory you paid. And at the end of the attack, you gain 2 memory back. So you can kind of just play around that and try to keep him alive while denying your opponent extra memory, or you can like pay enough to where you'll go to like 3 and then gain 2 back, and your opponent will only start at 1. He'll probably not be in this deck long term, depending on the stuff that comes out at BT8 and 9. And what builds come from that. The last Digimon that I'm currently playing is 2 copies of Chaosmon. In the case that Dorugoromon is not able to kill all my opponent's security, he'll take the last one for me. So when you Digivolve him, you unsuspend him, then he can attack one of your opponent's Digimon. And with this attack, he's able to attack your opponent's Digimon that's also unsuspended. And he has piercing, so you'll strip the last life away from him that way. Now, not everybody is necessarily sold on this card, and I'm still like in the middle of testing it. Personally, I do kind of prefer the Omnimon's Wart Defeat. I like in the initial build I was playing 4, I'm not even gonna lie to you, but being able to kind of snag a free security card from your opponent could win you the game. But the benefit of Sport is that he's also able to kind of come from security for free, or when you Digivolve him, you blow up a tamer. When he dies, you blow up one of your opponent's Digimon. So this card has so many good effects, it's hard to like justify not playing it. But for the time being, I am play testing Chaosmon. Next is the option cards. I play 7. So right now I'm currently playing, let me put him over here. Right now I'm currently playing 3 copies of Final Zugabon Punch. So this card in this deck just overall is really strong. For 2 costs, you can give one of your Digimon security attack +1. So this again adds to the power of Dorugoromon. They get reboot and blocker, and if you do have that Greymon in the pile, you know, him having reboot, now he gets jamming. So it's pretty nice. I know most people play these at 4, but I kept seeing it too much and I started to get annoyed. So I'd rather play, like I'm playing Black Memory Boost at 4. So normally people play these at a 4/4, but I don't like seeing this as much. This card I don't mind opening with because of the both effects. So this deck doesn't really have good tamers yet. And because of that, Black Memory Boost kind of acts as a pseudo tamer, gives you memory as well. This is the only deck right now that I play 4 of the Memory Boost cards. Yeah, so that's it for the option cards. So the last 4 cards in my deck are obviously tamers, and it's the only okay tamer Black has right now, which are the 4 Kodas. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add an X antibody card, place the rest at the bottom of your deck, and if you have 2 or less memory, you start at 3. So kind of self-explanatory why you play 4 of these. Excuse me, especially being that Coda's the only tamer they have. So the one thing I forgot to mention earlier, another alternative that you could play over the Toy Agumon is if you want to play like a little more aggressive early on, you could also play the set 4 Gatsumon for a cost of 1, 6,000 DP. You can't really argue with that. That's Tankmon status for a level 3, right? So I have thought about like trying that out if I decide to remove the Toy Agumon stuff out. And last but not least, the eggs, which should be kind of common sense, which is the 4 Doremon. When you place a card under, like, you know, underneath your Digimon that he's currently under, with the card effect, you draw a card. That effect does not happen often, but it is nice when it happens. But yeah, so that's the deck. I do plan on having some gameplay videos with this deck coming up soon. Once again, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you'd like to see more, let me know what kind of content for this game you'd like to see. I do plan on putting up some Yu-Gi-Oh videos. It's just that I haven't had time to test anything recently. This is literally the last thing that I have tested. And I don't want you guys to think I've abandoned Yu-Gi-Oh. I haven't at all. It's just life happened. But again, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like what you saw, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time.